My concern is I've got someone like you, multidisciplinary polymath, James Lindsay, PhD in pure mathematics. I don't want the brightest minds of our time to be taken up. I don't want this in the nicest way possible. I wish that you hadn't had to write this book.
Yes. I hear you.
What, are you bored of talking about social justice?
Fantastic question. More than bored, I'm indignant. So oftentimes,
you are
right?
one of the most indignant people I know. Yeah,
right?
I love it.
And sometimes people say, "Oh, but when I meet you or I see you, you seem like such a affable, warm, and friendly." It's because they mistake my very punchy, my very at times acerbic wit and sarcasm as I'm this mean guy. I'm exactly the opposite. I'm the truly the warmest, friendliest guy, but I'm indignant. I'm angry for exactly the reasons that you're saying. I'm angry that hundreds of thousands of students in a world with limited resources and limited time, instead of studying many wonderful things. And by the way, I don't believe that you should only be studying in university, medicine or law or business or the natural sciences. You could study the social sciences very seriously. You could study the humanities very seriously. You could study literature very seriously. But there's always a commitment to a common discourse, to a commitment to reason, irrespective of whether it's in the humanities, the social sciences, or natural sciences. But what I see in the universities, it's a minority, but it's certainly a powerful minority. They ruin the lives of thousands of students, let alone the bank accounts of their parents, who are spending $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 for somebody to take queering architecture and feminist glaciology. That angers me. Why? And this, by the way, goes to chapter 1 of the Parasitic Mind, because I want to explain exactly why I'm indignant. And I argue that there are really two life ideals that drive who I am. One is truth, and the second one is freedom. And I give examples from many different areas of my life, not just my academic life. So let's take, for example, freedom. Okay. So freedom could be, freedom of speech, right? I'm a champion of freedom of speech. But when I used to be a competitive soccer player, I played the playmaker role, the number 10 role, where I just kind of float around. Whenever I had a coach who would put restrictions on me, you're playing today more in left midfield and you have to track back and cover somebody, suddenly my brain would explode, because you were removing what I consider to be my greatest asset, which was to kind of look for spaces, to freely roam around looking for those opportunities, right? So freedom is something that constantly comes up in my life, whether it was when I was a soccer player, when I'm deciding which topics to pursue as a scientific project. So for example, the reason why I'm a polymath is because I could never accept that I'm at a business school, therefore I should only publish in these types of journals. That suffocates me.
You're the playmaker of academia.
Exactly, right? So because of these two driving goals of freedom and truth, I see the world around me through very pure lenses. So then when I see all what I call intellectual terrorists, so the postmodernists are, right, the 9/11, they flew planes onto buildings. While the intellectual terrorists, they fly planes of bullshit onto our edifices of reason, right? That angers me. Why? Because I come from civil war. I come from chaos. I come from tribalism. I come from identity politics. And now 40 years after leaving this garbage in Lebanon, I now see it taking foot in academia. So yes, I wish I didn't have to do it, but to the extent that you see me being punchy on social media, it comes from indignation, not from meanness.